Elsewhere, Western leaders led by Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli met in Kakamega to deliberate the way forward as a community. The meeting comprised governors, senators, MPs and 2022 Western political candidates for different political positions. The leaders unanimously chose Francis Atwoli as the political negotiator for the Mulembe nation and agreed that the community will only support a presidential candidate who will emerge as most powerful in the handshake team. And as Willie Lusige now reports, the move is already causing jitters in parts of Western Kenya.
As the 2022 presidential campaigns pick momentum across the country, Western leaders led by Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli and the Western governors converged and held a closed-door political meeting with leaders from the region, including 2022 political candidates.
Politics remains the same, dynamics remains the same, culture and the traditions of politics remains the same, the forest is the same.
After the meeting, the leaders agreed on the following political resolutions on behalf of the Mulembe nation.
Western region community will speak in one voice and will not entertain any leader who will not work with other leaders towards forming the next government.
So who will be the presidential candidate that the Mulembe nation will support come 2022?
That the Western region community shall start to negotiate with the immediate effect with the leading presidential contender in the handshake team before 31st December 2021. And that is before the Buhungu II meeting that will review to agree on the strategic engagement and stakes that the community shall have in his government.
The leaders agreed to make sure that the Luhya community is part of the next government.
That the community shall endeavor to ensure that every adult member registers as a voter and will equally be mobilized to vote in the coming 2022 election.
Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli was unanimously voted in as the person who will be in charge of all the political negotiations on behalf of the community ahead of the 2022 presidential election.
Dr. Francis Atwoli shall coordinate and help the community negotiate our stakes and be part of the next government.
It is a meeting for pro-handshake team. That must be known like that. And it is not a meeting meant to alienate anybody from this region, from the political mainstream.
But a section of ANC leaders who are not part of the meeting feel agitated.
Wanasema ati kutoka leo ati wametoa Musalia hata kuwa na sauti ya kuongelea nyinyi jamii ya Waluhya. I want to tell those governors kwamba we are not in the business of negotiating, and therefore if you are not a presidential candidate, do not place yourself as a strategic negotiator on behalf of our community.
So all eyes will be on the implementation of today's resolution, especially ahead of the 2022 presidential election.